If you're someone who really thrives on ambition, constantly pushing for that next big goal, you know just how powerful that drive can be. But what if I told you that drive isn't just about success? Today, we're going to deconstruct the psychology of high achievement. And let me tell you, we're going to uncover a pretty surprising truth about what's really fueling some of the most ambitious people out there.
We love to think of our intense drive as a superpower, right? It's what pushes us to get things done, to succeed where others might not. But what if it's also acting as a shield? What if it's secretly protecting you from something you're not even aware of? Honestly, asking that one question can change everything.
Okay, take a look at this list. Does any of this look a little familiar? It's the classic Type A checklist. And for a lot of us, we wear these traits like a badge of honor. Highly competitive? Check. Ambitious? Of course. Maybe a little impatient? Yep. We're told this is just the price of success, but there's a much, much deeper layer to this whole story.
And that deeper layer is what we're going to call your emotional armor. So we're moving beyond just a simple personality type here and into a really profound psychological concept that helps explain why so many of us are so intensely driven.
Here it is, the core idea in a nutshell. On the left, you've got the common view. Perfectionism is a strength, right? It's all about high standards. But the psychological view over on the right, it reframes it completely. What if perfectionism isn't a strength at all, but a defense mechanism? Think about that. Not a reach for excellence, but a desperate sprint away from the fear of anyone seeing you as flawed. That is a total game changer of a perspective.
So what exactly is this emotional armor? Well, it's basically a set of protective behaviors, like that perfectionism or the workaholism from our checklist that we develop, usually subconsciously. They're an instinctive response to things that have hurt us in the past, designed to make sure we never, ever have to feel that kind of pain again.
This quote just captures the whole dilemma perfectly. The heaviest armor is forged to protect the most vulnerable parts. Of course it is. It's designed to keep you safe. But that exact same protection, well, it becomes a cage. It keeps you from growing, from taking risks, from being truly, authentically yourself. It keeps you stuck.
All right, so if our armor is the problem, what's the solution? How do we channel all that ambition in a healthier, more productive way? This brings us to a really cool new model for success, what we're calling the new ambition, and the rise of the M-shaped professional.
For decades, the path to success was pretty much a straight line up a ladder. You became an I-shaped specialist, an expert in just one thing, and you just climbed. But in today's world of rapid change and AI, let's be real, that single-track career ladder is basically broken.
This shows a really fascinating evolution. First, we moved from that I-shaped specialist to the T-shaped professional, deep in one area but with broad knowledge across others. But the M-shaped professional is the next big leap. This is where you have deep expertise in multiple areas. And that's where the real magic happens, because you start connecting different disciplines to create truly unique value that no one else can.
And the benefits here are just massive. Being M-shaped makes you incredibly adaptable like a chameleon in a fast-changing world. You're way more resilient to big industry shifts, and maybe most importantly, you become a true innovator, finding breakthroughs where different fields intersect. It's just a much more robust and, frankly, future-proof way to build a career.
So, how do these two big ideas, our emotional armor on one side and the M-shaped professional on the other, how do they connect? This is the core takeaway of our whole explainer. It's all about making that shift from being armored to being authentically and healthily ambitious. Just look at this contrast, it's so telling. The armored mindset is driven by that constant fear of not being enough. Failure is a total catastrophe, and your career path has to be this rigid, linear climb. But the ambitious, M-shaped mindset? It's driven by genuine passion. Failure is just data. It's something to learn from. And the career becomes this flexible, exciting journey with multiple peaks. So take a second and just ask yourself, which side of this table resonates more with you right now? So how do you even start making that shift? It's not about some massive overhaul overnight. These are 3 simple, practical first steps. First, just acknowledge your armor exists. No judgment, just notice it. Then gently start asking yourself what fear might be hiding underneath it all. And finally, and this is so key for becoming M-shaped, start exploring new interests. Give yourself permission to be a beginner at something again.
And here is maybe the most important takeaway of all. Shedding your armor does not mean you become less ambitious. Not at all. It means you get to redirect all of that incredible energy, channeling it away from a place of fear and into a place of genuine passion and curiosity.
So I'll just leave you with this to think about. Imagine all the energy that it takes to maintain that armor, all the protecting and proving and defending. What could you create? What could you explore? What could you build with all that energy if you weren't so busy building walls?